Hey, Sorrow, I heard that you quit your job at the company and are now proudly unemployed.
Huh? What is it, Aunt? Hold on. Who said I was unemployed? I got permission from Mom and I work part-time to help out the two of us at home. Also, I don't use that much money myself anyway, so I'm pretty sure I'm not being a burden.
Calm down, Sorrow, I was just joking. You want to become a comic book writer in the future, which is why you quit your full-time job, right?
Yeah, what's so bad about it? You make fun of me wanting to be a comic book writer, but I even have an editor, you know.
Yeah, I'm not making fun of you, Sorrow, I'm just kidding. I, for one, support you chasing your dreams.
Are you sure about that?
You're so serious, Sorrow, and I know exactly what you need to fix that. I'll introduce you to a cool part-time job that you could use in your stories or something.
I have a bad feeling about this. What do you mean a cool part-time job? You're not going to make me do anything illegal, are you?
Don't worry, this is completely legal. You know that I work in the Human Resources Department at my company, right?
Oh yeah, it's a pretty big company as well, right?
Yeah, you see, there's going to be a huge recruitment at my company's subsidiary company next month. I want you to apply.
Huh? But I have no intention of becoming a full-time employee at a company, you know.
I'm not telling you to join E-corporations, I'm telling you to go undercover. I want you to go to that interview as a spy so you can inspect the hiring process.
Inspect the hiring process? Why?
You see, I've received 2 reports from E-corporations telling me that there was something suspicious about the hiring process. There's something suspicious going on with the interviewers, you see? I mean, you just quit your job recently, right? It's going to be really believable if someone like that goes undercover, don't you think? This is perfect timing for you to do this job.
Yeah, but I wonder if I'll be able to do it.
I mean, it's an interesting side job, right? Like I said, you could use it in your comics or something. Besides, you won't need to do anything fancy. Just apply for a job and tell me what goes on in their hiring process. Oh, just make sure that they don't find out you're an inspector, I guess.
Well, I guess that doesn't sound that difficult, and it does sound like an interesting job, to be honest.
Why don't you first listen to the job explanation before making a decision?
I don't know. It sounds like a lot of unnecessary hassle.
If you accept, you're going to make a lot of money easily, you know. I know it's a bit of a strange part-time job, but you really won't have to do that much.
All right, I'll listen to the explanation first. Hello, Mr. Paolo. This is Ivan, the person in charge of the recruitment interviews at E-corporations. Good morning. Thank you for letting me know I passed the document screening yesterday. Yes, no problem. We're going to be contacting you and the others who passed the document screening mainly by text from now on. Is that all right for you? Yes, I understand. I look forward to working with you. Anyways, I heard that yours was a single-parent household, and that we were raised by your mother growing up. Is this true? Yes, my father passed away when I was in middle school, and I've been living with my mother ever since. Things were a bit rough after Dad passed away, but somehow my mom managed to pay for my tuition all the way until I graduated college. I see. All right, I understand.
Hi, Sorrow. The first selection round just finished, right? Thanks for your work.
Hello, Aunt Monica.
So, how was the interview process?
Right now it just feels like a regular selection process, but
Is the interviewer pressuring you or something?
no, he just asked the usual questions. It was all just very standard and professional.
Is there anything in particular that caught your attention?
Let me think.
It's all right if you feel like it's nothing. Just give me anything that comes to your mind.
Oh, yeah, I remember he seemed a bit too interested in my environment growing up as a child.
Your environment growing up as a child? What exactly do you mean by that?
One of the interviewers is a guy named Ivan, right? Do you know him?
Yes, he works at the Human Resources Department at E-Corporations.
He asked me whether I was raised only by my mother by text. And in the actual interview, he asked me again in between two more standard questions. Well, it's true that I do live with my mother, just the two of us, but I don't really understand why he had asked me the same thing over and over. He's probably just concerned whether I would have taken care of her on my own if anything happened to her. Is what I thought during the interview, at least.
Interesting. This might have something to do with the reports I was already given. Did he ask this to the other applicants?
Oh, yeah. He asked similar questions like, do you live on your own? Or, are your parents currently healthy? That's why I thought he was only asking me all those questions to find out whether I would suddenly have to take leave just because of a family emergency or something.
I see. So he's more clever than I thought. Just to be clear, Ivan was the one who asked all of these questions.
Yep. All the other interviewers just asked standard interview questions, and Ivan would ask these other questions on top of that. What do you mean by Ivan's more clever than I thought, though? Do you suspect him of plotting something?
Yes, although we don't have any actual proof yet. He's made sure to cover his tracks and make it seem like he's been asking completely reasonable questions during the interview. I suspect that he only asked the other applicants stuff like, do you live on your own, or are your parents currently healthy, to mask his questions about you being raised by your mother. You need to keep going. He's going to slip up at one point or another.
So does that mean I should just contact me and tell me what to do before then, alright?
Got it. I will. Hi, Sorrow. Congratulations on completing the final interview.
Oh, hi, Aunt. Yeah, thanks. You say that like I'm actually applying for a job here.
Yeah, that was the joke. I'll get straight to the point, though. How was it?
Yep, that Ivan guy is suspicious. Just like you told me, he said something that made me think that he was very concerned that I was raised by a single mother. It was something like, are you sure you want to join our company? Because it may be a bit difficult for you to take a leave if your mother falls ill or something. I don't know why he had to tell me specifically that, though. I mean, don't all, well, I guess most of, the other employees have parents as well? I'll just give you the details later via an IC audio recording.
Okay, was there anything else?
Well, to be honest, I myself wondered if I was just imagining things or not, but do you want to hear it?
Of course, tell me. I hired you to tell me everything you noticed during the hiring process, remember?
It's about Ivan again. But there was an opportunity for all the people who passed the preliminary interview and all the interviews to gather and talk to each other. There was this one woman. Whenever Ivan would ask her a question, she would answer with the normal response. But I got the feeling that she was anxious the whole time. I mean, all the other applicants were anxious as well, but she seemed to be on the verge of panicking or something. It looked like she was avoiding his eyes when she was talking to him as well.
I'm guessing you don't happen to know why she was acting like that?
This is all just my personal opinion, and depending on how you look at it or how I tell it to you, it could come across as being very offensive. And I don't even know if it's related, but...
Just tell it to me, Sorrow. Do you remember her name?
I think her name was Anna. Why? Do you think Ivan is targeting beautiful women or something?
Yes. Well, women he finds attractive, to be more precise.
Just to be clear, I have no idea if this has anything to do with the hiring process, alright?
Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter how small you think it is, just tell it to me, because who knows if it could be important. There's always a chance that this whole situation will get solved by an unlikely clue. And just between you and me, I'm pretty sure that this is related to our case. You see, the 2 tips I got from insiders in E Corporation were also women that could be considered beautiful.
I get it. Well, I guess we really do have to investigate every clue, no matter how unlikely, since we don't even have any proof yet.
No need to be impatient, Sorrow. There's also a high possibility that something will happen before they tell you you're hired. So don't let your guard down until I say it's over, okay?
What? Could it be that I'm going to be accepted?
Well, yes.
Wow. So, does this mean that...
Don't worry. We made it so that you being there wouldn't affect the final result. So you didn't make anyone fail the interview or anything, if that's what you're worried about.
Oh, I see. It's fine if that's the case, though.
All right. We've just got a little more to go, so keep working hard. I feel like we're just about to catch him.
All right, got it. Hello, Mr. Paolo. This is Ivan from E Corporations. Can you talk right now? Oh, hello. Thanks for your work with the interviews. Is there something you wanted to tell me? Well, you see, I told you that you were hired yesterday, right? Yes, thank you for choosing me to join the company. Yes, about that. I'm sorry, but I changed my mind and we're not going to be hiring you after all. Why exactly is that? Don't take this the wrong way. I am truly sorry I have to do this, but it's a rule of our company that we can't hire people who were raised by a single mother. Which is why I'm going to have to revoke your job offer. What? You're not going to hire me because I was raised by a single mother? Yes, I had already confirmed that you were raised by a single mother growing up, but due to some mistakes by the other interviewers, you were accidentally given a pass. I was so close. We were almost fooled because he looked like a regular person on the outside, but in reality, he was raised by a single mother and thus is trash. Is what the other interviewer said. You see, he even went as far as ripping apart your resume. I'm sorry, but this just means that we just don't need someone like you in our company. I see. I hope you have better luck finding a job in the future. Well, goodbye. I'm sorry we raised your hopes only to tell you the truth. It's true that I was raised by a single mother, but... Don't you think it's a bit strange not accepting someone just because of that? That's called a prejudice, you know. Thinking that someone didn't have a good upbringing just because they were raised by a single parent. Are you sure it's all right for someone in your position in charge of the company's human resources? Mr. Paolo, why you... This is what I'm talking about. We're not a charity, you know. You're just a piece of trash whose place is to get judged by others, not judge them yourself. You can't just tell me your opinions like you matter, you know. All right. Then I have a question for you then. Does it mean that it is a requirement for E corporations that any potential applicant must have been raised by both parents? You mentioned that it was a rule of the company, right? Well, put it simply, yes. I understand. But that's crazy, don't you think? I've never heard of a company that had a rule not allowing people raised by single parents until now. What's crazy about it? It's actually a very common practice, Mr. Paolo. In this day and age, people talk of diversity and equality, and companies have to pretend they support it or else they'll lose customers. But in reality, they couldn't care less and would rather not have to work with such people if possible. Wow, such people, huh? But the woman named Anna I was interviewed with said she was raised by a single mother herself as well. Yet I heard that she just got the job offer. I also heard that the other women who were in a different group as me and who were also raised by single mothers got job offers as well. What? Even if we look at the 2 past recruitments, this imbalance was pointed out to have been too extreme to be an accident. Would you like to explain what the meaning of this is? How do you know all those details? I don't know. Why don't you make a guess? What? Oh, I get it. I see what you're trying to tell me now. All right, fine. Let's make a deal. A deal? You can pretend I never contacted you about your job offer being canceled. And I'll even make sure you get an above-average salary once you join the company. In return, I want you to pretend like you don't know anything about me using Anna's weaknesses to make her do as I say. You know what? I'll even make it better for you. If you keep quiet, I'll let you in on my plan and we can use Anna for our pleasure together. I see. Thank you for the proof that you were doing something illegitimate. Huh? Hold on, Mr. Paolo. I can assure you that making a deal with me here is going to benefit you much, much more than if you hand this information over to whoever you're working for. Please, think about this more carefully. Yeah, no thanks. I'm just doing this as a part-time job, you know? I never actually intended on joining this company, or any other company for that matter. Anyways, I especially appreciate that you told me all of this by text, where it won't disappear. What? Shit. Well, I had to try, you know? Congratulations, you caught me. But could you please tell me one thing before you leave? How did you know? Was it a trap? Well, it's not really that it's a trap. You were already being suspicious of being an unfair interviewer. What? But I made sure that I didn't leave any evidence. Who the hell are you even? You see, I received a request from your parent company to investigate this company's hiring process. I was an undercover inspector. What? You were an inspector from the parent company all this time? But I didn't receive any information about this. I don't see how you could have, because currently only 2 people know what I'm doing here. Well, I guess 3 now that you know as well. You see, before the final interview, I noticed that Anna was acting a bit strange. And so I told the person who hired me to this job about it. They did a bit of investigation themselves, and I got the chance to ask Anna about it herself, which is how we found out about your perverted practices. What did you say? What part of what I'm doing is perverted? All I'm doing is preventing people like you from joining our company. If anything, I should be given a raise for my efforts. First of all, you look down on people who were raised by a single parent, automatically considering them as being in poverty and of being no use to the company. Ivan, based on this ideology of yours, you failed every man like me that was raised by a single parent without exception. Women that were raised by a single mother, on the other hand, you hinted to the ones you found attractive and easy to manipulate that they might be hired, and everyone else you still failed. The ones you did let into this company, however, you used to satisfy your own pleasures, using their weaknesses to make them do whatever you say. You know even that? Your mistake was that you got too greedy after succeeding twice already, and attempting to do it a 3rd time. It looks like you were quite the devil in disguise, Ivan. How do you feel now? By the way, the person from the parent company who hired me has been sitting next to me and reading these texts the whole time. What? Please understand that there's no use trying to make excuses anymore. This can't be happening. To think that I was caught. Is this the end of everything for me? Is my life going to end now? Well, goodbye then. Damn it. After that, a bit more investigation was done on the case. It seems that Ivan wasn't the only interviewer that was using their position as an interviewer to get what they wanted. It was such a scandal that it was decided that everyone in the upper ranks of E-corporations would be fired and replaced. With Ivan, on the other hand, it seems that him abusing his power as an interviewer wasn't the only rule he broke. It was found out that he was also guilty of countless other offenses, and in the end, he ended up having to pay multiple alimonies and damage compensations to multiple people in multiple areas. But in the end, it was decided that he had malicious intent when he did all these things. So he was ultimately just fired as well. Since he couldn't rely on a severance package, he was forced to make money in any way that he could think of. And it seems he became extremely busy day in and day out. He still had to take a huge loan, and now he has to work all day while being in extreme poverty. It seems that every day is extremely painful for him.